Hello, folks, and welcome back to our all Pinoy affair. It's Mineski taking on TNC here, best of three gods, and Mineski did not eat their spinach, I have to say. They looked just totally out of sorts in that game one.
Yep, I agree. They need to head out, get their veggies.
Maybe someone had some really bad gas in the LAN cafe.
Yeah.
You know, like they were holding their noses, trying to play with one hand or something.
You know, you don't eat your spinach. You want to get your protein. You go in the streets with little vendors. You have what's called balut. It's like a little duck egg thing. It's kind of gross and off-putting because you can see like the little bones and stuff from like the baby.
But healthy, it sounds.
Yeah, healthy, great protein. Makes you play better Dota.
All right, Mineski, more balut for game number 2.
Yeah.
Maybe they grabbed a snack here. Let's see what they're cooking up for us. Draft has begun. It is a best of 3, and it is an elimination match here, guys. Loser of this series will be knocked out of the BTS SEA Cup number 1, and the winner will be in the money, guaranteed $1,000 at least.
Yep. So this time around, I haven't seen Undying in some time. It's been getting banned out a lot. Just one of the lane-dominating heroes, and especially an SEA hero that teams love to go for. But TNC kind of giving it up because they get a decent carry who can fight early, deal with the Undying in lane, and also pretty good against the Tombstone Gyro. Probably next to the PL, 2 of the better carries in the current metagame at dealing with the Tombstone and Undying in general.
Interesting opening. The Undying first pick is... I mean, I guess it's mostly the hero just getting banned, but I don't think I've seen him first overall in a very long time. I've seen him like second picked. I've seen him banned a lot, but first overall not so much. They get a Lina now, so I'm going to see with going back to the well for the Lina, and curious to see how Cuckoo plays. Will he be more aggressive this time? Will he be more active? Do they play the farm game? Only time will tell.
Yeah. Feels like Mineski just picked up 2 heroes that are very individually strong, but there's not really any clear strategy yet. Not that you need to have like a 2-hero combo as your opening picks, but with TNC it's much more kind of team fight centric, and something where the Darks and the Gyrocopter have a lot more synergy together than like a Lina Undying, for example.
Dazzle getting banned out here. That Dazzle did work, I have to say. They were... AU 2000 was on point the entire game with the Graves, and I would actually say a pretty hard countered the Lina, because she would like Laguna, and every time except that one death on the Leshrac where he was just parading around in front of the enemy tier 3 just asking to get zapped. Like, the Laguna would come seconds after the Grave, and so you don't delete a hero. They still get the full Grave duration to fight. So I guess Mineski just respecting it. We'll ban it out here.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty good hero in general against Lina, because it's normally pretty clear when and who Lina will ulti, and when they're in that kill threshold, so you just make sure you can kind of time the Grave well. And TNC this time around go for a Naga. Great setup for the Vacuum Wall cooldown combo. They've got this huge AoE teamfight wombo combo going, and probably just a support Naga. Don't think it really fits as a core here. They've already got the Gyro, and Naga as a mid just would probably get bullied out of the lane by a Lina. So
okay, so you're thinking the support Naga.
Yeah, I think much more likely that direction.
Yeah, I was casting with Winter yesterday, and he was saying he thinks that one of the big issues for the SEA teams is that even if they pick the Naga, they just don't know how to execute it as a support the way that, you know, like Secret or EG did at TI. And if you don't use the song properly, that it's really not that strong as a support. But I guess we'll see. We'll see if they do run it support, and if so, if they can make it work. If AU 2000 plays and he plays as well as he did that Dazzle, then I would say maybe he can. Maybe he does have it in him.
I mean, both this series and the last series I cast with Winter, AU's played fantastic on the support role. He's been really solid as captain, drafter, and I mean, TNC is one of those teams that haven't got any big flashy players or big stars, like as far as the Filipino scene goes, but they win games. They're consistent, and this is one of those kind of C-Deck-like teams in some ways where it's not about the flashy plays. It's much more about overall how the team fits together as one, and that's where this is a team I'd say with a lot of potential as far as the SEA scene goes. And I think one of the downfalls often of Mineski is they do just kind of look to just keep around a lot of these big star name players, and sometimes the team synergy just isn't there with these rosters, and they end up just constantly reshuffling.
It's kind of Navi syndrome, you know, in a way where it seems like they are very married to Dendy and Havos. Regardless of results, they are going to stick by those two to the bitter end. That's clear at this point, and it works in terms of building your following and perhaps for the business of running the team. But as far as actually winning, sometimes you got to be willing to just cut ties with everyone and start fresh. Not saying Mineski needs to. They did look really good the other day, but
yeah, and they've done like fairly decently in SEA. They won before this. There was another kind of online cup which they actually won a best of 5 in the finals against Yamate's team. So they've had their ups and downs. It's just, to me, the big thing with them isn't like when they're playing their best, they're really good. They can play on par with teams like Fnatic. They're just so inconsistent. So I think with this team, it's very much like they can play really well. They just don't do so all the time.
Rubik coming out now. Good way to cancel the charge here. Stealing Tombstone is really nice. Seems like a pretty good Rubik game.
Yep, absolutely. And it does lead to an AM pick, but
Rubik also not too shabby versus the anti-mage.
Yep, free blink, so why not? It's very short cooldown blink as well when it's at level 4, so it's a very handy tool for Rubik to have until the team fight breaks out and then he's looking to steal the Tombstone you mentioned or like a Laguna Blade.
It feels like their supporting cast is a lot different this game. Like they go Lina AM, kind of actually very farm-centric cores potentially, but this time they have the Spirit Breaker on Dying. These like space creating, run at you, be aggressive early type heroes, so... does seem Mineski's changing up the draft a little bit.
Yeah. I still think they can't really contest the offlane that well. If TNC just want to stick with the tri-lane, Rubik, Naga, Gyro, even with the SB Undying, that's not a lane they can really get much out of. And Anti-Mage probably needs at least a support down there. I don't think Mineski can tri-lane. AM vs Darkseer is one of the matchups where AM actually doesn't do all so bad. Like some AM players love versing Darkseer. I mean, I always talk about Black when I see this, but
who's the mid for TNC? Because I'm starting to wonder, is there a possibility that Mineski runs the solo mid anti-mage even and keeps him out of the side lanes?
Well, with the PL pickup, it could be a Gyro mid.
Or even a PL mid.
Yeah.
I know one of the teams recently ran a PL mid.
I think PL's a better mid than Gyro personally. They've now got the 2 best carries at killing Tombstone, by the way.
Yeah.
At least as far as relevant ones, like Lone Druid's there, who's better because of the demolish damage, and he's just can bring it down a little faster. But yeah,
I know you're an LD fan. I watched your stream the other day. You want to play the Lone Druid.
He's good. I think he's underrated.
He's
like a 5th pick hero, like one of those just dirty 5th picks.
All I'm gonna say is he's unless like I have like a at least like 5.5 to 6K player on my team, I do not want to see Lone Druid get picked. Like absolutely not.
AFK juggle, dude. Anyone?
Well, the bear is just so costly to feed now. Like if you ever feed that thing, Jesus, dude. Yeah. It's like a kill and a half.
So support Gyrocopter. We're just completely wrong about who's going mid and stuff. It's going to be a Naga core, it looks like.
Core Naga, support. Yeah, it's a Noji Gyro.
X-Lucky has picked up... X-Lucky is the core. He's the mid player / carry player. They're swapping LD.
Solo mid Rubik? Come on.
I would love it, but I think they're swapping. I
am going to be so happy if this is a solo mid Rubik. I'm channeling all my positive energy. And...
X-Lucky, man.
Come on. Oh, he's bought the courier.
They're swapping roles, I guess.
Noji
is
roll swap.
I don't know if this is confusion tactics or just X-Lucky really loves playing Rubik.
We're confused, so clearly it's working.
Yeah.
But
I think Lucky may just love playing Rubik. He's one of those kind of pub star players and is a flashy hero in a lot of games. So
let me play Rubik. I can style on this anti-mage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's kind of the 5 position, so he's not going to be able to get too much farm.
All right, so it is AU on the Naga. Let's see if he can live up to the promise he showed in his earlier Dazzle game. And let's introduce the teams. TNC up 1-0 on the best of 3 guys. Our admin did forget to update the score, unfortunately. But yeah, it is 1-0. TNC leading Mineski here. Loser goes home. So yeah, Raven on the PL. S on the Darkseer. AU 2000 handling the Naga. Gets Ion Shelled. Has the early Poor Man Shield. And get aggressive here on the Cuckoo. They instantly jump on him. And the lift is almost enough to get the kill. He blinks out with 24 HP. Close call there. Tombstone was taken at level 1, but they can just focus this down. It's ever so squishy. Free 75 gold here.
And now there's no tomb. They've lost this rune at top. They're
and
taking a ton of damage.
Burning everybody down here with the Riptide as well.
They want to go get bottom rune, but it may be too late for that. They've only got 5 seconds to get down there, and Noji...
he can just destroy Jules here with the Rocket Barrage. Just Jules can end up giving up another kill.
He's going to charge
off the bat. He charges and does get the bounty rune, but doesn't have the bash available and will be forced to use a salve, it looks like.
And Jules does have a lot of HP regen here, so he's forced out the entire mana pool of Gyrocopter. So this is still pretty good for Jules, I'd say. His offlane should at least be pretty manageable now that there's no Rocket Barrage mana for some time.
And they have no idea what happened in the jungle either. There was a TP bottom. Spearbreaker got down the Magic Bush Ward. And he also got an Observer Ward here. Getting some vision towards the rune, and as well as blocking that camp, I believe.
Yep. Importantly, though, the mid lane, PL gets a bounty rune and Lina does not. This gives PA a much better time. Just gets a faster experience. Already level 2, so just there, dodges a Light Strike array with Doppelganger just because of the bonus XP from the bounty rune, and then gets the last hit to follow. So,
it's
Raven,
the little things.
Yeah,
adding up.
You taking like 150 less damage if you get hit by an LSA and then a couple right clicks. That really can kind of make a difference when you're trying to get a good bottle timing. Once you get low on HP, you have to really second guess going for creep last hits. So Raven just gonna try to do his best here in the mid against Alina, which I think is actually gonna be an okay matchup for him.
With this Tombstone level 1 GoDz, it just feels like Ro8 can't really be that much of a threat on these first few waves. S is having a much easier time, and no decay stacks, which the support Naga are going to be very happy about. So seems a bit slower here for Mineski and their safe lane, tri lane.
Yep. And yeah, I think it's going to kind of remain that slow pace here. Yeah, if the tomb gets dropped, they just back off a little bit. Antimage doesn't have that much
shield
kill
Naga
potential.
with Ion Shell is just he's just not fun to go on.
Yep.
They're very tanky.
So Raven already has his bottle up. Pre 2 minutes. He'll be very happy mid. Can just start throwing lances at Lina, who doesn't have bottle money quite yet.
There's a lot of mana now on Noji. Jules may have to charge himself out of the bottom lane, but they have a lift ready to cancel this. This could well be a kill. He charges, and Lucky quick with the lift up. Stays out of the charge path, and Jules likely to be the first blood here. Again, he will end up going down in a hail of bullets.
I guess a Rubik clarity there, I'm guessing.
And yeah, just the clarity, actually, because he did not complete his Bassi yet.
Yeah, either that or he walked home back to base, which
I don't think he did.
No, Rubik's level 3, so has a decent amount of XP, but
now gets a regen. Might have been nice to give that to the gyro, but no such chance with Mr. Trolley moving towards the bottom rune. And we are seeing the PL mid doing a lot of work, GoDz. Actually, he still has a Doppelganger available. Could have thought about a dive mid, but gonna play it safe for now.
Yeah, PL's kind of got the HP advantage for the most part, and already sending the courier back to Bottle Crow. So Lina's going to use all the bottle charges, then send the courier back, but PL's kind of one step ahead and just going to have his courier back a little bit sooner, so can kind of continue to harass it earlier.
And the Ion Shell harass continues top lane. Still no point in the spell shield here for Cuckoo, so he takes the full brunt of this. AU continues to play aggressive. Both melee heroes just up in front, and now they get the Riptide off. He can't blink out. Ooh, he burns down to the Ion Shell. Tombstone comes out.
They can still fight this.
They look to engage. It's only the level 1 tomb. Not scary at all. And TNC, again showing a lot of prowess here in the laning stage. The farm advantage slightly in Mineski's favor, but the solo mid PL keeping up with the Lina. They've gotten the kill on the enemy safe lane. They've killed Jules off bottom. TNC just going to work. And as I say that, maybe the Jinx coming out. Oh, salve by S. He's low. No more decay available. He's short the mana. We'll make it out. Barely surviving, but it's going to have to run all the way home as AU 2000 also makes the log trek.
Yeah, this is 3 lanes looking really good. Raven's not really winning mid. I mean, in some ways it feels like Raven is winning mid. Constantly has an HP advantage. And PL is just constantly bullying the Lina, but they're even on CS, I guess.
Cliff him? Oh, no. Lucky just the up and down.
Yep.
Nothing fancy here.
An invis for Lina, although I don't really feel like Lina can get kills on the PL with this. Does hit level 5, but PL, as long as you're kind of staying healed up, and unless there's a rotation from someone like a CM, you're going to be just fine to this gank.
Even if he hits the combo, you definitely need the Laguna, and then maybe you just have enough, but not level 6 yet.
Yeah, so back to bottle crowing, and things will be just fine in the mid lane for PL. And this is just a farm fest. Both players bottle crowing constantly. In the bottom lane, where more aggression
Look at this, GoDz. They have rotated the Undying down. Level 2 Tombstone now. Not so easy to kill, and they will charge onto Noji. Lucky, not really having a whole lot of firepower. It's all up to the Rocket Barrage to get these kills, and they're hesitating. Jules wanted to run. Ro8 wanted to fight, and so they don't quite go in together, but they do survive through an extra decay, as well as 8 stick charges still at the ready. Onto Jules. Ro8 already used his stick. Where's that charge? He's going to leave Ro8 to an auto attack, but has the boots just barely out of range. 20 extra move speed. Now Trolley comes in, and this time the Invisor should come in handy. He hits the stun. Follow-up slave, and will get the kill. Ro8 turning around with the decay, just to KS it from Mr. Trolley.
Yeah, I think he should just kept. I guess you get some XP and gold, which he needs, but
That's always the argument as a support, right?
Yeah, I need the XP and gold, but to be in the he could just if he turns around and doesn't throw the nuke, he could potentially die to a Fade Bolt. So
yeah, that's true.
It's okay. It's probably not too. I mean, at this point, Lena's farming well.
These doppelganger dodges. Raven just really making it easy for himself here mid. I don't think we've seen a single Lena stun connect yet. Yeah. Not sure we will at this rate either.
Doppelganger might just be the best spell in Dota.
It's pretty freaking good.
Especially
when you max it, the cooldown's just so damn low.
Yeah. Like once you fully understand how to use it and what you can do with it, it's just ridiculous. And how many spells you can. It dispels everything, like Shadow Strikes, like Phoenix Fire
Track
Spirits.
is a big one as well. Yeah.
It's the only things it doesn't is like Spirit Breaker Charge, which will still.
I think Viper Strike, which persists, but then you have a Viper on the enemy team, so you're feeling pretty good at that point usually.
You can just dodge the Viper Strike to begin with when it's midair. So that's the other thing. It dodges spells, not only dispels them. And
it can move you up and down cliffs, which is quite nice.
Top lane, they've gone another strike.
Engage. S will go down. They committed the tombstone. 4-hero rotation to kill the Darkseer.
Yeah.
TNC busy with their own 3-hero movement as they got an aggressive ward down here in the enemy jungle. Looking for stacks and now make their way onto Trolley. Net comes out, jumping in, again dodging the stun. Raven just schooling Trolley right now, but the charge through connects on 3, still will end up falling. Though they might be able to turn this. There's the bash. Mr. 17% in the house, doesn't even bother with the stick charges. Jesse Vash also arriving, and will end up being a PL for Alina. Both mid laners just left for the Wolves.
This is much better from Jules. Like, as soon as he hits 6, he ganks top, then he's headed towards mid to get a kill on the PL. Even with a bit of luck coming out from some of those bashes, it was still just the right idea from Jules, where he's not just constantly going back to the off lane, throwing away his life, or just leeching XP for really not much avail. He knows, as that offlane, as that Spirit Breaker Clockwork type hero, you've got to be getting involved, got to be the one leading the kills, and that's what we're seeing more this game than the previous from Jules.
And I guess you reckon for TNC at this point that Noji should be that guy for them, as he's hit level 6 on the gyro.
Yeah.
Very, very potent timing.
He should be looking to get involved in some of these fights that may happen. If anything, it's the PL. Oh, I feel like both PL and gyro are both great for fighting right now. You've got maxed out Spirit Lances.
That's true. And he's ahead in levels where the PL maybe is sharing experience with the support normally. Could do a lot here.
Yeah, so a level 8 PL right now is quite scary. Hasn't actually gotten any points in Juxtapose, which is not what you'd normally see. I think he's holding a skill point, or has he got stats?
I think he took one in stats.
Yeah, he's got one in stats, so no Juxtapose. It's an odd build.
Yeah, I think he's just not expecting to really fight that much and just wants to be as dominant as possible in like the 1v1 matchup mid. Yeah.
Definitely, you've seen a lot of players kind of get too many points in stats where they sit on that level 1 doppelganger, but definitely I think you're seeing more and more that you need to level this spell up because of that short cooldown.
The Phantom Rush you don't necessarily have to level up as much early, but yet against the Lina, like we've seen how good the doppelganger is.
You'd much rather have a 10-second cooldown on that dodge when the LSA, it's 7 seconds, but there's a good chance you can maybe dodge a couple big spells in a team fight. This time around, unlike last game, Mineski haven't got that many stacks to fall back on in the jungle for someone like Lina.
I suppose the question is, do they want this to turn into a farm game with their lineup gods? Do you feel they match up well here against TNC? If this is just a passive farm fest and it remains, for now, very even, if it remains that way?
Yeah, so ultra late game things don't go so well. Here's like Undying, CM, 2 of the probably weaker late game supports, but they'll hit a pretty good mid-game timing with the anti-mage, around pretty much the Manta style timing where they'll be really strong. Like Undying will still be relevant, you'll have a mech on your side, and with like a Battle Fury Vlad's Manta style, AM will be really difficult to deal with. So
you think their timing is like the mid-game, basically?
Yeah, I think early game-wise, they can still fight here in the early game. Spirit Breaker, Undying, a very potent combo.
They went for the deep dive on Bimbo, but the rotation comes now as Ryo engages with the Tombstone. Now the charge comes in. Jules galloping forward, but easy to juxtapose. Doppelganger dodge. We'll make it out.
Yeah, as much as Spirit Breaker charge can
Doppelganger just like counters Mineski, it feels.
Yeah.
Charge.
Charge is good against it if the Spirit Breaker is coming in after the Doppelganger, because it follows the real one, but you can dodge the actual charge hit using it. So.
And then he just kind of stands there like not really sure what he's doing. And this time Jules getting cancel bottom, but does Nether Strike under the tower, and then thinks better of it. Now wants to run away. Rotation's coming from Noji. Can he get in time? He doesn't have the cooldown available. Needs the body block from the illusions. Will get it. Jules, charge ready. Can he get out of here? No, he charges forward. Maybe it will be enough. Jules surviving, juking through the cheese and trying for the TP out. Illusions blocking away the PL. Ooh. And will make it home. A great escape by Jules there.
Raven had another lance, but didn't want to risk diving under a tower, which is probably reasonable considering he did die recently doing that, just that at mid lane.
Well, Mineski getting some room here, GoDz. Cuckoo. We saw his farming Lina last game, this time the anti-mage, and he's been given a lot more space. And I think that is something I'd like to hear your opinion on. Do you feel like this is a reaction to the way last game went, where they... Because they had Cuckoo on the Lina last time, but this time they just put Bimbo on it. Is it like a playstyle difference? Any particular reason why you swap?
I imagine the internal discussion of that first game was we played really bad. And, well, Cuckoo will get ganked at top.
They have the double Antra going on Cuckoo. They could try for a Son here. The vacuum comes out. They just catch him. Just barely at the periphery. They can cancel this and burn him down. It looks like we'll end up falling. A great takedown by TNC. And so any questions about the support Naga have been answered at this point. AU2000 is doing work for the team.
Yeah. I've been in kind of positions like Mineski after like a game one like that where when you're on a team, it's very much like they probably recognized how awfully they played, and that it was like their entire team. Like we talked about how Jules just kept doing awful things in the offlane, so they probably said, "Look, dude, you got to fight. You got to be the one setting up kills." And then the playstyle clash between Jay and Cuckoo, where Cuckoo just wanted to farm, did not suit them at all. So I imagine it was very much a kind of reaction to what happened in game one with the role swap between these two players.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it works. It seems like Cuckoo's very comfortable in that super hard farming role.
He's died twice this game, but it's been just good execution from TNC. I think overall, Mineski seemed to be more comfortable this time around.
And historically, Jay is known for his active carries, his 4 mobility utility items, Tiny, his Invoker. He does like to get active around the map. They will jump the Gyrocopter bottom. There's your 17% after the Nether Strike. It's the insta-bash, and we'll get the kill.
So Jay also going to be going for that Bloodstone Rush build. Getting aggressive here bottom lane, and X lucky.
Could be in danger. He's stolen the Lina stun. Actually might be able to almost killed one of these heroes. They throw it a nuke out. I don't know if they know he's got the stolen stun here. He drops it. Fade Bolt. Jules not the one he can bring down solo, but Raven will rotate in now. Gearing up with an army of illusions. Jules will just gallop away, and elsewhere top lane, they have finished off the anti-mage. Another death for Cuckoo, the Naga Darkseer.
Just 2 heroes, that's...
And it doesn't sound like the scariest combo for an anti-mage, but they are just wrecking him.
Level 4 Ensnare, and you get the minus armor, Iron Shell.
Wow. 5-second disable. That is a long time for an anti-mage to be standing there.
It's an anti-mage. It's not really... He could try and fall back to the jungle and finish it there, but he's just thinking like, oh, I'm close. I should be fine top lane. You don't normally think as a Naga Darkseer as a Druid that can kill you. But they are doing something a bit different here.
That surge into net is cool as well because he's got less reaction time, it seems, to see that the combo's coming.
And he's started to, for the most part, he's gone for the really best build possible. I guess you could say maybe get some treads so he gets a bit more HP, but there's really not much more he could do. Maybe a few less points in Blink, could have gone for some extra stats or a second point in Spell Shield, but Spell Shield's really a level 1 value point for the most part.
Now TNC starting to group up on the back of the mech that S has acquired here. He is their most farmed hero, GoDz, even above the Gyro and the PL. And they are looking to group 4 heroes top. Raven moving that direction, maybe hoping for a root. Oh, sorry, I missed that. S will just get blown up. So Laguna comes out and didn't even get to pop the mech.
Yeah, so Dire team just put down a Dire lane ward up top, and importantly, it's not in sentry ward range. So that led to the kill and also gives AM some breathing room to secure some farm.
Again, Raven. Doppelganger dodging these Spirit Breaker charges, but does get another strike back, and then bounced onto the low ground by a bash, it looked like. We'll end up going down there. So Mineski find another kill. More space, and do they look to go in Cuckoo? No, he's playing back. He's playing careful after how the last few fights have gone. Mineski will get some momentum here. They start pushing in mid, and they're getting closer to their own mech here as Ro8 has almost farmed it up. Oh, Cuckoo, again, he's caught out by the net. It's such a long duration. He's going to go down again. That was only like half the net duration there. He's just got no chance when that thing hits him.
Naga. Oh, I thought it was maybe going to pick up a medallion soon. Does still have the chainmail, so we'll be seeing, I think, a fast medallion. But that's more minus armor and just makes bringing down the AM even easier.
Yeah, really enjoying what AU 2000 has brought to the team, both with his individual play and maybe we see his shot calling now, GoDz, as they smoke immediately. Get aggressive in the enemy wood, smoke breaks, and walks right into Jules, but does not go on him in the end. Now wants to maybe get in this jungle, and seems they won't find anything.
Yeah, hard hero to kill with the charges there. He can actually charge out even when he's ensnared, so...
Yeah, and they don't have any of the other follow-up stuns. I guess they do have the vacuum, but that's only a level 2 vacuum.
You'd have to time it pretty perfectly.
Well, there was a lucky there. Still, though, Trolley's in a bit of danger. As the Bloodstone could deny if he really needs to. Back into the call-down. Will Bloodstone deny? And now with the Tombstone going here, they focus it down quickly. Very good focus fire by TNC. Removing the Tombstone. Now meching and retreating with the Song.
That was a Lina buyback. They just want to get out.
Oh, force it and they retreat. This
quick
This is
thinking.
the power of the Naga.
And again, it's AU, the captain, just making these in-the-moment calls, I imagine, because a lot of teams there would have looked to stick around and that Lina buyback would have just done some damage, but they Song an immediate escape, made a quick call, and it was definitely the right one.
Elsewhere, still trying to complete the Battle Fury. Cuckoo just needs 200 gold. It's a bit slow for the safe lane anti-mage, but he is going to focus on getting this now. Heads back towards the top lane. So when things settle, GoDz, net worth, dead even, experience, slightly favoring Mineski. Very back and forth in a blow-for-blow game so far.
And the other kind of important thing was that was a kill on the Lina as soon as she picked up Bloodstone. It's already down to 6 charges. If you kill her with Bloodstone like a couple times right after they pick it up, it cripples them so much. Your Linas, Leshrac, Storms, whatever they may be, it takes a long time to catch up, and it's just a big swing in momentum.
There's a mech now on Undying. Mineski starting to get some of their bigger items and levels out. The Max Tombstone we saw last fight. But you mentioned it earlier. PL, one of the better heroes to focus this thing down, and it just did not live very long, that last engagement.
Yeah. And that's just going to become a bigger and bigger problem. That's where you kind of got to wonder, like, what's the Undying going to offer? He's got the mech for the team as well as level 2 in Soul Rib, so it will be at least a kind of healing Undying for the team. And you throw a Flesh Golem in there for some damage amplification as well, so it's not just about the Tombstone, but it's definitely one of the biggest spells, and maybe something later on. Like, you could still see it being useful around like a Roche Pit fight, but out in the open, it's just too easy to bring down.
The rotation, Mineski on the smoke, getting aggressive now, but TNC back off, and this is a decent timing with no Song here. TP out. They will see S top. That's the mech carrier, one of the big team fighters, out of the equation. As the stun connects onto Lucky, Frostbitten up. They will Laguna for this, securing the kill, but everybody tanks the call down. Jules gallops forward. He wants to go deep, and he will onto AU. Now they're striking it back. Will he get a bash here? One more should get the team in range. Everybody looking for it. Jules just not having the RNG goes where they still managed to get off a Nova. Should be a Frostbite follow-up here, and AU completely surrounded and will be taken down. But elsewhere, mid lane, looks like a tower got denied. Cuckoo slowing down the PL's farm, though they will lose the bit of map control here as Raven will finish that off.
Yeah, should have maybe just been the one kill on the Rubik, but still just the 2 supports. And the Dire team will be looking at a T1 tower to this as well. So all in all, nice sequence of events for Mineski. Get a lot of map control out of that, and they're going to... The ward's about to expire in the Radiant jungle, but I imagine they'll be looking to put some more up and to continue their dominance around the bottom side of the map, wherever possible.
Early Diffusal Blade now. We're not seeing that Boots of Travel Yasha build, just early aggression, early combat from Raven. Seems that's also the way Noji's building. No Dominator on him. Straight into the drums and now towards the BKB, though. He's still getting charged. In a bit of danger here. Doesn't have the tower nearby. Nether Strike on cooldown. They wanted to get in range with Bimbo for the potential stun, but couldn't quite do it in time. And now Jules starts taking a lot of damage. Does have 3 stick charges, 4 stick charges. Will it be enough to get off a charge? No chance. Falls in the end. Ryo a bit late to the party. Tried to pop the mech. May end up going down here as well. Deploys the Tombstone, but there's no tower to fight under. And Gyrocopter engages the Song. Setting up on Jesse Vash as well. Courier comes in. Has a completed Yule Scepter. They drop the call down. Really big combos from TNC. And they even steal the Tombstone here as well. GoDz, they keep on pushing in. 5 heroes just barreling down the middle lane.
Yeah. They hit a sick timing there with the Diffusal especially. That just burnt through the mana, or first the Spirit Breaker and then the Undying so quickly. Completely caught them by surprise, and this is not an easy defense. Cuckoo's not in fighting shape. He's just got Tread's Battle Fury. He does not want to come to a fight against a Diffusal PL.
Bimbo trying to hold it off by himself, but he can't do it. Tower will go down. Trolley didn't get the Yule Scepter off there. TP out will be successful from AU. And Cuckoo continues to try and poke at this tower. He will snipe it. Getting a range creep as well. Looks like a little rat Dota's in the cards for him. Blinks into the trees. TP's out. There is no song, so we'll be safe.
Yep. Won't get it the catch. Bimbo very farmed on this Lina. Has Yules and Bloodstone now. I like to see the catch item. I feel like last game going for the Bloodstone Axe just did lack that pick-off potential that the Yules gives you. Even if heroes like PL are very good at dodging the combo with the Doppelganger, just can force out a Gyro BKB. I mean, you can kill the Gyro before he even gets the BKB.
Bimbo's looking on the mid lane, but he doesn't get off the stun here. A drop up and down. The Tombstone was stolen. Remember last fight by Lucky. If he gets this off, it's going to be tough. Oh, he barely deploys in the nick of time. Just Vash not falling. They backed him back towards the Tombstone. Absolute chaos. There's got to be like 50 Radiant units here between the zombies, the Naga illusions, the PL army, and they're hunting Ryo on one side of the fight. Elsewhere, Jules will charge away. They're going to lose 3. Golly gods.
The zombies are chasing Jules.
That'll be fine.
Both teams tried to focus tombstones there, and while one team's a lot better at killing them. It was mostly just the Lina from Mineski, but while Bimbo was attacking it, he was just dying to the PL, so did not end too well for him.
That was just so much crap. Like, they just had so many units there. Hard to focus anything when that happens.
One of those fights, Envy would be like, I need a rewind, man. I want to see that one again. What actually happened?
Yeah, where's our instant replay in live games? Someday, the dream. That was brutal stuff, though.
Overall, it seemed like a good exchange for TNC. They killed the Lina, take away some more Bloodstone charges, and going to keep Mineski down for now. AM didn't get too much out of that with the space. Has got up to Vlad's and 600 gold, though, so almost approaching that timing where the Manta style's online, but it feels like PL may be just far enough ahead that even when the Manta comes online, it will still be tough for the AM to fight.
He's almost got the second component, actually the third component for the Scotty. Could get the ultimate orb and a point booster, or save for the second ultimate orb. They will get the tower here. Deny attempted by CM. Doppelganger forward. Raven in the middle of the entire enemy team, and he is dropping quickly to this. A bit too deep. Had the regen root, couldn't get it off. Tombstone chucked out there. S in danger as well. Bimbo on the hunt. Could slave him down, doesn't need to. That's a double damage turn. And they will also find the Naga, an additional kill. They had the song this whole time, GoDz, but never used it. An ultra kill in the end. Ooh, felt like they needed that reset there.
That was just great use of spells by Mineski. They didn't kind of overcommit on any heroes. They only used as many disables as they needed for any one of those kills. Lina got the perfect combo on Gyro. Then they moved on to the PL just didn't have any backup. Like that Darkseer Vacuum needed to be kind of comboed with the PL aggression. But the PL went in, didn't have a way of canceling a freezing field, and that freezing field just wrecked him.
Also killed off the illusions rather quickly, and that's a lot of their damage output.
Mineski get themselves an Aegis out of this, and that puts Lina in a good position now. 10 charges, Shadowblade back at base, which will be coming out soon as well. And that just gives even more pick-off potential for this Lina. That really helps if like there's a PL solo pushing a lane where you can just go in with the Shadowblade and lead with the stun rather than the Yules combo, which gives so much time to kind of counter and react.
Regeneration.
Raven has not spent his gold yet, but looks like he does indeed want a Scotty for 3,400. Maybe could use that extra HP after the way that last fight went.
Scotty just a good kind of carry man fight at him, and he probably realizes he needs to be part of the answer to the anti-mage. Boosts up his mana pool, which for the most part is fine against the AM. He's not going to be able to be on like your main hero right-clicking you all that much, unless like you've already in a bad position in the fight. So I don't think the PL is going to be a prime mana void target regardless.
They're getting room for Cuckoo now, and he's back on top, up to 12k net worth. TNC, the more aggressive team here, again smoking, and again looking for fights. They have their Gyro BKB online, just completed. Also the Greaves now up on the Darkseer, and they may find Bimbo. Smoke will reveal here. Bimbo's got the Shadowblade. No detection, it seems. They blink, lifting Jesse Vash back. Should be able to get the Crystal Maiden here for a 5-hero smoke. If that's all they get, I'm not sure they'll be happy. Noji, a lot of damage. Tombstone up on the high ground. Will it be stolen? Song was quickly cast and canceled. They want to fight right now with the call down the vacuum. Jules netted up. Jules nearly dead off the bat of the fight. They lose the Aegis as well. Jules, can he charge out? No chance. 4 down. Aegis expended. They may lose Bimbo a second time. He's got the Shadow Blade at the ready. Can he run? Can he fight? Anti-mages arrive, but there's not a great Mana Boy target. Everyone actually very high in terms of Mana Pool. And now they net Cuckoo, and they focus him down. He barely has a blink. Will turn and look to run away. Bimbo just going so hard in the paint here. Almost gets another 2 kills, but will end up falling. That's 4 dead, and Aegis expended. Never really got much done with the Mana Void. Everyone had basically full Mana Pools that whole fight.
And Bimbo just got like way too cocky there with the Shadow Blade. Like when he gets that Shadow Blade off, he's fine because TNC had no detection. They hadn't actually scouted out. There was dust now picked up on Rubik after dying, but they had no detection for that fight. So he gets the initial escape off. As the fight drew on, he could have just, after that, Yule's Shadow Blade away, but he tried to go back in and go for a kill on PL, which was just the wrong call. And that was a big kill to give away. 800 gold streak going to Raven, and that's the PL's completed Scotty, so...
He's a lot tankier now. We'll see him hit the 2k HP mark with agility treads.
Yep.
Getting much beefier.
It's also the Gyro who needs to start tanking up, though, because that Lina Laguna is just majority of his HP, and when the Ags comes into play, this BKB will not even help you out, so... Gyro needs to go for maybe just a Sanjin Yasha. Yeah, Gyro's not going to hit hard, and it's very late for a Sanjin Yasha, but I feel like he needs whatever cheap, cost-effective HP he can get. If not a Sanjin Yasha, maybe a Skadi as well.
Let's see what No-G wants. For now, he needs gold more than thinking about items. He just needs to have the ability to buy anything.
Even getting levels, just getting stat points and strength growth will help him a lot. Right now, he's only level 13. If you get up to like level 16, get a couple more points in stats, the level 3 ultimate. That'll be another big boost to what he can do in the team fight.
He's quite far behind the other cores here. His support Naga is the same level as is the enemy Spirit Breaker. So he is struggling a bit in the level and farm department. Maybe they make their move on Cuckoo. Oh, they couldn't steal the blink in time. Smoke up. They have AU out in front. Has the blink song available. Could fully commit if he wants to dive in deep. The smoke will break and nothing will really come of it.
Yeah, they had dust, but it's...
They have a gem as well on the PL right now.
Oh, okay, that'll help them.
They got to get in close if they want that fight.
Yeah, I like this pickup. I'll get a lot of map control out of it and just be able to completely take over this dire side of the map. Also help them secure potentially the next Roshan as well.
Is this the way you want to see TNC playing here? Just constantly smoking and fighting? Do you feel they could farm more? Should they be keeping the pressure up to this extent?
I think now is a good time to fight because the AM still is just that slight bit behind the PL where even with the Manta he's not ready to fight. With an Abyssal Blade, he can kind of engage and instantly kill someone like the Naga before the song can be used, so... To me, it feels like TNC are a bit stronger for sure, even with Gyrocopter being very vulnerable. If they have to use the Laguna to kill him, it means the PL's going to just wreak havoc and do so much damage. The Tombstone isn't really a factor anymore, so I think for the most part, this is the right play from TNC.
Well, they're really going for it now. They've got the creeps up in the base, just a stun out from Trolley off the bat. Raven will still engage for this. Now, getting the illusions from the Doppelgangers. He retreats a bit. No-G. Oh, stun fishing. Got to be careful here. They do have the Greaves to keep him slightly healthier. And Bimbo will now engage into an illusion. Charge comes. Doppelganger will dodge it. Now the song. The counterplay potential is here. Call down can be set up, and it might hit the entire enemy team. They get all that back and all the damage. Massive from TNC, and they fight onwards. They've stolen the Tombstone, continuing to engage here. From the back comes Cuckoo. He wants to focus the stolen tomb down. He will get it off, but he's in danger. He's got to blink his way out. Only the Crystal Maiden after all that. Now the turn 2 will fall. Oh my goodness, how did they not all die to the combo? I'm not sure, but, well, Cuckoo decides they can't fight anyway, even though it's a 3v4. He's cutting the wave to be safe. The rest of the team will back off.
Yeah, he had a DD and everything, but decides still not the fight for them. It's still, I'd say, a decent-ish trade for TNC, or at least kind of an even trade, because for Mineski, they're just looking to buy time, and TNC not taking a Rax is a victory in some sense. But tier 3 tower, just the two, well, supporting your offlane and your Doxy going down. No-G.
Bit of danger here for him. He just bought his Demon Edge at least, so won't lose the gold. Dropping the call down. The team frantically scrambling to help him out. Blink forward comes. The net's there from AU. He could be next to Cuckoo. I think he threw out the net, but it got Manta dodge. Not sure if Cuckoo even intended it, but it works out beautifully. Rubik now stealing that blink will lift Cuckoo, drops him just straight down. He'll start farming the creeps here. May even try to take the tower as the creeps come marching in, and all of a sudden, the game is turned on its head a bit. Lucky with Stolen
Bimbo
Blink will
lurking around
retreat
as
out.
well, hoping to find some kills out of this.
Yeah, he's really in far, but they have the gem on the PL. No high ground vision right now. Oh, actually they do. They've got the hill ward. So they do see Bimbo here. They'll rotate onto mid. Mineski bouncing back a bit, and Gold has been going their way, even through that fight experience. Now a 10k experience lead. They are hanging strong and with their backs against the wall here versus TNC GoDz, and definitely looking better than last game. They're not self-destructing. They're taking solid fights, hanging in, and just waiting for their anti-mage to reach critical mass.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like there's been any hero that TNC have designated like, okay, either the PL or the gyrocopter had to be designated. You're the hero that needs to be keeping up with AM on farm completely and taking us to the late game. And PL has had a better time as far as just doing well in fights, staying alive, getting kills, which is where he's more farmed than the gyro, but neither has actually been prioritizing farming ancient stacks or just farming efficiently in the jungle. It's always like, okay, we have 2 carries, the other will kind of make up enough for it, so it's okay if I'm getting kills. And even the gyro, he's been involved in a lot of these fights. 6-4 and 6, not really a bad score by any means, but as far as the net worth goes, even the Lina is out farming both of these, and the AM has really pulled far ahead of both carries on the TNC side.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the cores and the amount they farmed. Bimbo is 15 and 4, and his CS still dead even, in fact, ahead of the PL and the gyro. And then you've got the anti-mage who, like you said, 3 and 4, but 100 CS up. So it does go to suggest that maybe TNC have not been able to maximize their efficiency around the map in general.
Hoping for a Ro8 respawn, but it's only been 8 minutes now.
Yeah, they did smoke for this. I think TNC are out at this point. No smokes for 3 minutes, and then they'll be down for 11. Long time to go without that map control, potentially, but they still hold on to the gem for Raven. Some good news for them after the last push.
The main thing for TNC is trying to find like your best way to get to like real late game status now, I feel, because AM will kind of peak off. There's no stopping him getting up to Abyssal plus whatever, like 6 slot items he wants. Lina's in a similar story, but look at the other 3 heroes, and none of them are farming well. None of them will really even find farm this game. So if you can get gyro items, TNC do fine this game in the ultra late game. They've got a great team fight with Naga, Darkseer, heroes that don't really fall off as much as a CM Undying do. Even Rubik also great in the late game. So for TNC, it's all about trying to find the farm on the map, whether that's going to be through jungling, whether that's going to be through stacking or going for like, up until now, they felt like they could go for kills to get that farm, and I think that's the part of the plan which may change where
now you want them to farm more.
Yeah, but yeah, farm just their side of the map and play a more passive style. Let Mineski bring the heat to you, because
you've just got that big wombo combo, right? The Psalm, the call down.
Your high ground defense is insane. It's more, you don't want to just be sitting on your high ground not getting farm on the map, though. That's the one thing they've got to make sure doesn't happen, because Gyro does need 2 big items on top of this BKB. He needs the MKB, Satanic. He needs a lot more than what he's got right now. Butterfly, even against someone like an anti-mage who doesn't want to build MKB. There's so many items that this Gyro can fit into his item build right now, because he's got absolutely nothing.
Interesting pickup here from Raven. He's going to go into the BKB. We've seen some of the Asian players especially will favor this like BKB Abyssal build in certain games, GoDz. Do you have any thoughts on when you want to go for it versus, I know you've been playing quite a bit of PL lately, versus more like just pure stats and like raw DPS potential?
I think it helps a lot against the CM ulti, which as a PL, when you go diving in, the CM's always a little bit behind the AM or Lina, so the CM's generally going to get a pretty big, long duration ultimate off, especially if she can farm up something like a Glimmer Cape, so the BKB just gives PL a lot more room to just be the front line, kind of initiating, because they don't have that great like initiator in the gyrocopter where he is. So I think the Abyssal Blade you mentioned is a core item against the anti-mage, and the BKB is just going to help against the mana burn plus mana void that the AM has to offer. Okay.
I like how you didn't argue with me that you're a dirty PL picker.
You know,
you're like, hey, yeah.
You said that, I was like, who you calling the PL picker? And I was like, I pick it from time to time.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, GoDz has been streaming quite a bit more, and whenever he really needs MMR,
I haven't had that many PL games, LD. I'm checking.
No, but it's like you normally random, and when you pay hero pick, I feel like PL is the one that you hero pick the most.
I got 2 Okay, I got 3 PLs on my last page of games. I guess
it's not that bad. It's not like you're not blitz level
That's
here.
like
okay.
3 out of what, 14 games on a page? Yeah. It's okay.
But it's more like you random every game, and then it's like when you pick, it's always PL. I feel like, or usually the PL. Plus, you're not arguing, which means I must be right. Oh, they're trying to push this top lane, but little do they know the real anti-mage was actually just in the lane.
Oh,
one of those unusual moments. Also, Raven jumping forward with the Phantom Rush, really hoping to track Cuckoo down, but they can't quite find him. Oh, just unfortunate there for TNC. Normally, that real hero is the one that backs off GoDz.
Yep. One of the builds you can do against Anti-Mage, which I think is really nice on PL, is Blink Abyssal. It just gives you great catch. Also good against the Lina, because Lina has the Yules, the Shadow Blade, all these kind of pesky escapes. And having a Blink Abyssal on a PL really helps against that. So that's maybe where the PL goes next after the BKB. I would have maybe liked to have seen it before the BKB, but at that point you're very squishy and vulnerable. And I think if you want to play for the ultra late game, getting a BKB early is just like, well, you're not really going to end the game off this BKB, but you're also not going to get picked off and die, which is important if you want to stay alive and
it's kind of an insurance policy.
So the gem now moves to the Naga, and PL kind of getting slot limited.
Yeah, I guess that's the one thing with the Blink Dagger here is he's got room for the Blink, I guess BOTs and one more item. So not too bad.
He's got the
Blink BOTs and Abyssal, but then he'd have to give something up if he wants more. Oh, well, there used to be a Rubik there. Abyssal gets used. No Blink steal shenanigans for you, sir. Well, I got the steal, but not the escape.
Most of these, anyone outside of the PL just instantly dies to the Blink Abyssal. And even the PL, if there's a Blink Abyssal and like a well-timed bash at the end of the Abyssal, PL could even die to the anti-mage at this point.
See, are backing off, somewhat forced into a more defensive posture with the anti-mage hitting the peak of his power curve. Now 25k net worth. Cuckoo, funny thing is, he's still only 4-4. It's hardly been a dominant anti-mage game in terms of combat, but he has just focused a whole lot more on farming. Almost 200 CS up on the enemy PL now. And even almost the same on the gyro. But he is running out of item slots. GoDz, at this point, can buy one more in BOTs, and then he's pretty much done.
Yeah, you replace the Vlads, I guess, to be fair too.
That's true.
He's also, he probably doesn't entirely know what he wants to get, because it depends a bit on the PL. If PL goes Butterfly, you may want to fit in a MKB. BKB, I feel like BKB against PL, against the Diffusal Blade is really useful. So I'd probably see a BKB Butterfly, I would say, as his 2 remaining items. Especially if you're going to upgrade the Treads to Boots of Travel, you want the Butterfly for the attack speed and evasion. He picks up the Eagle Song, so it will be a Butterfly for now.
Mineski's still holding the Aegis now. How long do they have? It looks like 3 minutes here, so...
No. I don't feel like they
what do they want to do with this? Is this a pushing Aegis, do you think? They just get the Butterfly now and Cuckoo?
It doesn't feel like it, at least with how they're playing and moving on the map. They're just finishing their next couple of big items, trying to get... I think they realize and know they're getting to 6-slotted status on their 2 carries much, much faster than TNC. They keep seeing that, like they had the Hill Ward at top lane earlier, which now expired or got dewarded, but they've seen this Gyrocopter. He only just picked up MKB. So best case scenario, he picked up MKB and was just saving money for buyback, which means he's still only got like 16, 17k net worth. He's still about 8,000 net worth behind the AM. He's actually over 10,000 net worth behind. He doesn't have buyback, so... They see the Gyro's items and they're like, this Gyro is a non-factor. We can just finish our 6-slotted items, and Gyro is not going to farm creeps anywhere near fast enough to catch up to us, so we can even wait potentially the next Roshan if they really want to, but maybe they're just, now that they've got the Butterfly, this may be go time, but they're just so comfortable in this farming-paced game right now because they see how poor Gyro and even PL to a slight extent are.
They are pressing in mid. Blink gets stolen here. Cuckoo will retreat out. Completed Crimson Guard on the Darkseer. Okay. Very late Crimson Guard at 40 minutes. TNC just buying what they can for now. It feels like they know they need more firepower to take on this beastly pair of cores. Even the Lina of Bimbo quietly acquiring a plate mail. Looks like a Shiva's or an Assault Cuirass could be coming up next. Will be a completed Shiva's already, so he's getting the farm as well.
So PL's not even saving buyback, just buys a straight up Demon Edge, which at this stage of the game, you probably, like, if you can buy a complete the MKB, it's worth buying and not having buyback, but just for a Demon Edge, it's not really worth the risk. But it's one of those things, late game, if you're giving up buyback, it better be for an actual item, not for a piece of an item. But this is once you see the butterfly in AM, Raven's thinking, my gyro does no damage. The only way we kill him is if I kill him, so he wants the MKB.
Vote of no confidence in Noji.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case.
Motion for me to be the hard one position here, Raven.
Look, you know, we saw Mineski swap roles. I think Noji's back to support next game, LD. I'm going to be honest. He hasn't played that badly this game, but his farm hasn't kept up. His movements and rotations on the map were just a little bit off, and it has hurt TNC a bit.
TNC now very much constrained to their side of the map, and just lancing anti-mage illusions. They come marching in, mana burning the real hero here, and Raven going to give up almost half his mana to kill that off. He is a pretty juicy mana void target, potentially. 1,500. Got to find the real one, though. That's the tricky part.
He's the highest mana. Him and the Dark. Yeah, Dark's is
even
a
higher,
lot lower. Yeah, he's by far the highest. But
yeah, Peel's got quite good int games for an agility hero, actually. I think it's, what is it, like 2.4 or 2.5? I'm actually curious now.
Yeah, but say you're asking the wrong person. That's like a question that maybe like AUI would know the answer to, but not many other people. Lumi?
It's okay. It's only 2, so it's not that high. But for an agi hero, that's still pretty good. And he starts with a pretty high base int. Tends to build very stat-heavy items with the Scotty in particular.
Diffusal even gives you a bit of intel. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you look at like his intel right now, and like almost half of it's coming from stats, from items as well as just leveled up stats. So right now, I mean, you can just see TNC. They're not actually farming. That's the big thing here. We kind of talked about earlier, like what's their plan? They do want to farm, but they're just haven't got vision up. They're being dewarded all over the map. There's a gem on the CM, and as a result, Mineski are farming while they're not, and that's predominantly the Mineski game plan right now. They're smoked up. They are looking for that killing blow at some point. I think they feel they're strong enough.
Visible just for a moment there, but Mineski, they're looking for a clean initiation. So far not finding it. Trolley will swing around from the north and then wrap back towards mid where Glimmered Naga is hanging back. The smoke is about to expire here, but no Radiant Vision up the hill. They seem to know. They're hanging very far back. In fact, they'll retreat even more to the south to be safe. And now they do see Cuckoo in the mid lane. They know there's 5. Although that may not save Raven if he comes out too far. Be careful. As you mentioned, he's not got the buyback now because he is rushing for this MKB. But they hang on mid, and Mineski just using the map, it seems. Farming the bottom lane, farming their own jungle, keeping the aggressive wards up, and putting TNC in a bit of a chokehold at the moment.
And they'll wait for the next Roshan, it looks like, before they breach. AM will have, I believe, that next big item as well. I think he'll drop the TP scroll and either just have like buyback money plus boots of travel money. So he doesn't have to actually buy the boots of travel, can just hold him to the money. So if he dies, he can buy back, pick up the travels, and come in. And yeah, he'll buy BKB. So
BKB Abyssal now, still 3k gold, and like you said, can buy back. Have that third life if he gets the Aegis, which it certainly seems they're in position to grab an Aegis at this point.
I think they'll be giving Aegis to Lina this time around, and Cheese even to like a Spirit Breaker, just because AM is well and truly 6-slotted. He's just a hero that's probably not going to die, and if he does, it's because Lina's just going to clean up the fight, or they just have to throw so much at Cuckoo.
TNC just still stuck on their side of the map. They haven't even lost the gem, but they've not been confident to even try for a dewarding move, and now they're going to pin out the hill. Noji is currently scouted, but nobody really in position. Mineski hoping for a quick Roche respawn as Cuckoo already moves in. Won't actually be there in time. They drop the ward and will deward the hill.
Good
using the Naga illusions for the true sight.
I think at this point Noji's just like, well, they could be here. We don't have any vision on the map, but we're just going to lose if I don't farm. So he kind of goes to a riskier place, takes out the Ancients. No one's near him right now, but he's... I mean, all in all, TNC are just so blind, and there's just so many ways they can quickly die from the 2 cores. You've got the Lina with the Aghanim Scepter, you've got Antimate with the Blink Abyssal, so both these 2 heroes can get solo kills on anyone outside of the PL, it feels like.
And Ro8 just continuing to camp in the pit. He knows that all they really need from him at this point is to make sure that they get this Roche. It's 1 minute before the respawn, roughly, and he will not be moving for very long from this location.
So for Lucky, I feel like stealing probably Laguna Blade is the best thing you can do in the next fight. Can't use it on the AM really because he doesn't have an Ag Scepter though, so...
The Tombstone's still good if you can get it in the right position.
Yeah.
And they don't... The anti-mage is busy at doing other things. But yeah. Just Laguna, is there... What else is there this game? Not much.
Like, Lina has a huge mana pool, but she's not going to use much of it. So even if you steal a Mana Void, I don't feel like Lina's going to...
She's probably missing like 1,000 or so at most. If she...
Yeah.
Laguna's drops both nukes, Shiva's as well. It's like roughly 1,000 mana.
And she regens very quickly with the Bloodstone. So like she just used double nuke plus Shiva's and is already back to full mana in no time at all. So
good point. So there's not really a great Mana Void target, I guess, is the upshot. And Crystal Maiden with a measly 767.
Yeah. I mean, PL can help you out with some mana burn, but it's not something you can really rely on necessarily.
You say that now, and because you've said it, I watched the next fight be won by a Vac Mana Void combo. That's the one thing. They have the Vac. They do have the Vac to set it up.
And that's where Mineski are cautious about just going for a push or anything like that. They're well and truly going to go for the Aegis Cheese and then probably even just slow siege it. They're not going to go for anything too aggressive as they push. They've got BKB on Lina now as well, so they've got BKB on both their two carries. It really feels that way. You've got Jules as the offlaner going to the Vlads, and now what looks to be a Halberd, so very kind of utility focus coming out from the supports.
Pause here from TNC. Let's see our weight. I'll have a moment.
Whoa, did you? I don't think we talked about this yet. Have you seen what Naga picked up?
Ooh. No. Okay. We have not discussed this.
This is where
46-minute relic.
Yeah. And I feel like
she's already level 16, so she's got the level 3 Song of the Siren.
That's a great call from TNC, because I'm just sitting here watching like I don't know what TNC do. They have got no map control, but Naga with Radiance Illusions flying around the map, you get somehow farm an Octarine core. I mean, that's a big if, but
she's basically got the Radiance. Like, should have it in the next minute or so.
Yeah, because Naga Illusions is the map control for this team. That's the only way they get on the map. And if they get the Radiance, they're really pushing the lanes and pressuring it, forcing Mineski to defend. If they can survive this next Aegis Cheese push, this game gets back to about like close to even, I think, with AU finishing Radiance and like a Radiance plus Octarine of some kind. Although I mean,
and then they definitely have the late game. Naga will be farming a lot of the map. PL is getting there. Should have his third big item fairly soon. And Gyro be also not that far off of the Butterfly, at which point he's got 2 big damage items.
This Naga's just been silently farming, so...
I wonder if Mineski have seen this yet, or... if so, this has to be the Aegis then.
Yeah.
It would seem.
There were illusions showing top, so they would even see it on the Naga illusions, I imagine, but...
AU's got to be a bit risky.
Yeah,
He's going to move out. Well, he's sending illusions, though. He's nervous. Not sure if they're actually roaching, but...
And just for Mineski, like, AM's peaked. He's 6 low. All he can get is a Moonshot at this point, and that's about it.
He's going bootsless. He's going pure siege tank here.
That's a real sign they want to just end the game by having AM just clicking towers and not
maybe the Radiance won't be coming online here, GoDz.
Yeah.
Do you even like sell the medallion just to pick it up right now, or?
It doesn't really help you with the high ground defense, I don't think.
Okay.
It's much more about the split push. It helps you kill creeps. It doesn't help you defend your high ground. So I don't think he will. Maybe he sells. Oh, he does. He sells some medallion. Okay. Can cancel blinks. No one has blinks really, so.
I guess can cut the wave, maybe, but it's going to be tough for these illusions to make it out of the base. They're already stunning trees. Lina just getting a little extra move speed. Yep. And the slow siege will commence now for Mineski, it seems.
Darkseid is a big hero to look out for. He really has to get an anti-mage illusion and get some damage done with it.
Our team doesn't see him, but at the same time, it's Cuckoo way up in front to start this one off. He does get glimmered, and now Manta's blinking out, charging forward as Jules, but it's right as the AM is disengaged, so he's kind of left to his own devices here. Raven will lance him. There's the back, the wall in a good position. Ryo dropping the tombstone. Now does Rubik find the steal? Not yet, it seems. They will hold the line. Wall committed. Jules will cheese. The song's coming, though, and it will catch Ryo. These BKBs are wearing off. They're looking to set up again. but they're in pretty far as Anti-Mage on the other side of the fight is completely caught out by himself. Very tanky, though, still holds the Aegis for now. A bit of a chaotic fight. Jules now with the TP. Will he make it out in time? No, he will not. Cuckoo just getting kited. He'll lose the Aegis almost for nothing. Mineski could be self-destructing here. They still have a Laguna Blade. Now the BKB from Cuckoo. Look for the Mana Void. He does let it fly, but Raven dodges it with a very well-timed Doppelganger. Laguna will finish off the real PL. No buyback on him. No buyback on the Naga. Wall gonna wear off fairly soon, and Cuckoo just skirts around it. Will kill off the tower. There's no Abyssal. And it looks like they may be able to finish off the lane of Rax here, GoDz. S also on the run. Shiba's the big chase from Trolley, looking to do it solo. Cuckoo just wants objectives. Buildings are the name of the game for him. Call down comes through, will slow down Bimbo, but there's not much single target damage follow-up. Turning with auto attacks, with the anti-mage support, they'll bring down the gyro. No buyback on him either, and Mineski with that third kill may just have forced this to a deciding game number 3.
TNC had a great start to that fight, then they just got a bit too excited, I think, as they got like a kill here or there. They killed the anti-mage Aegis really easily, like, okay, let's keep going. Let's kill him on the respawn, but Mineski just figured out, okay, we'll just get the big Mana Void off, Lina will just Laguna the PL, and then things suddenly went much. Once Mineski started throwing their big spells out, it went right back the other way, and that's where TNC just needed to just fall back to their high ground. And
oh, the pull back into the back combo. Very cute stuff. Very cute, but not an objective.
Not gonna win you the game.
Not a game changer, but certainly a fun little clip there. Cuckoo will take down, really bulldoze this final 8 of Rex. Now blinking in, he's gonna go find another kill. Mana Void just for good measure. Yeah, take that. Salt in the wound. Can't see. GG any second here. We'll go to a game 3. It's been pretty back and forth, but this is much more what we expected from Mineski, GoDz. It's looking like they're not totally tilted after game 1, which is
very
good to see.
interesting game too. Like TNC really playing aggressive, doing well in the early game, and then mid game dominated by Mineski. And if it did get to that late game point, we saw the Radiance come up on the Naga. If you get to the Octarine Core, suddenly it'd maybe even swing back TNC's way, because AM wasn't getting any more farm. But Mineski, I mean, they know that. AM, after 50 minutes, falls off, and they just didn't let it get to that stage of the game.
Well, seems like there might need to be a death push here, or else TNC are going to be stuck in the base for a very long time.
AM wants a Moonshard,
They're
surely.
moving top.
Yeah, he's got the Moonshard coming.
Okay. Moonshards will be the pickup, so then he will officially be 7 slotted, and there's really nothing more at that point. Gold is not the issue here. For TNC, even if you give them 2 rapiers right now, it's still going to be tough against the Megas.
Level 2 boots of travel, so AM can be anywhere on the map, split pushing and keeping on heroes to help out.
Oh, they lost their Shadow Blade. I was going to say they could go for some shenanigans with that, but there's a gem on S, I suppose.
Yeah. From here on out, I mean, there's not really a recovery in sight.
Oh, the Desperation Mask of Madness on Raven. Well, there used to be a Rubik there. Just deleted by Cuckoo. And now blinking forward onto Noji. Gets the first bash here. Already used the Abyssal. BKB now as well. Additional bashes coming forth. Turns. Could Mana Void someone? Naga not really missing that much mana. Does throw it. Almost getting 2 kills. Barely back to the well. AU will escape. Now they back. They look to turn this. Is there any way that TNC could possibly come out on top in this fight when they're just so far down in terms of gold? Raven retreating. Courtesy of the Doppelganger. Won't even matter. There's the GG. He survives on the high ground for a moment. But only a moment. And when the dust settles, Mineski hang on here. And they will force that deciding game number 3.
Close stuff. Mineski at least bounced back and played much better this game. It felt like the roles just suited their plays a lot more, and everyone had a much clearer idea of what the game plan was. You didn't have Jules just keep continuing to go back to the off lane and not looking to create space. He did a really good job on the Spirit Breaker, just moving around the map, finding kills, helping out mid lane especially, because Lina really got rolling. 19-5-5. This was a good performance from Bimbo. Pretty much a classic anti-mage performance as well, where he did really well. So yeah.
Game 3 hype. GoDz, we're going the distance here. Who's your money on? Mineski, TNC?
I'm feeling TNC right now. I feel like they'd be a bit more consistent. You know what you're going to get, and I feel like AU as a captain drafter will bounce back. I feel like they've got the better captain drafter to me.
All right. Well, we know one thing for sure. There will be some O-lots one way or the other after this game, guys. So stay tuned. You're watching the BTS Series SEA Cup #1. Winner of this match will be in the money, guaranteed top 4. One more game to decide it all.